When walking more than 2 steps to your car is just a hassle for you, pressing a button to open the trunk is beneath you. And you need to vacuum even on your camping trip, then the Kia Niro EV is the perfect car for you. Hello everyone and welcome to the Kia Niro EV 2023. 68 kilowatt hour battery, 64.8 can be used. We have WLTP range of 463 kilometers. It can charge with AC with 11 kilowatt and DC up to 78 kilowatt. We have front wheel drive with 150 kilowatt, 204 horsepower. We have 7.8 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour and top speed of 167 kilometers per hour. The Kia Niro EV is really a great car, so many features. It's amazing that we have so many buttons here, and I know a lot of people don't like buttons, but it's nice that for the most important thing you can just reach and press a button and it's on. For example, seat heating. I don't have to go into a menu and do something. It's one button and it's a real physical button, the same as steering wheel heater. There's even air ventilation if you want that. We have our climate here in the front that can be switched over to your system, so map, navigation and so on, and media. The screen is great too. We have a lot of things that we can do. Of course, we have our navigation in here. We have our EV window, and we have the most important window ever created on this planet. Is energy information that shows the instant consumption in kilowatt of your system. So driving, climate, electronics and battery care, which is heating or cooling of the battery. The instrument cluster is great as well. There's so much info and you can have different kinds of designs for your instrument cluster. You have 3 trips, 2 of those you can reset yourself, but one of those will also reset because it's while charging. You can have a digital speedometer in the middle as well, but you can also have a different design with a digital speedometer is always on the left. There's also a dynamic view for the instrument cluster. It even shows the weather. So when it's raining, you see rain, and when it's snowing right now, you see snow in the instrument cluster. The head-up display is also really great. It shows so much information. It's a nice brightness. It's very sharp, very detailed, looks great. On the steering wheel, we have all the buttons that we need. We have our drive mode, we have our cruise control with self-steering, and on the right we have our music control and our favorite button. But let's drive a bit. The Niro drives really, really nice. I know I say nice and great and all of this the whole time, but it is a good car. It's a good EV. It has really great suspension. You're not jumping around. It's not too harsh. It's really comfortable and it does it really well. Regen is the best thing about this car. You can adjust it with the pedal shifters here on the steering wheel from 0, where there's no regen at all, to the strongest regen, and then even one further to I pedal, where you get a beep. And then the regen is really strong and it brings you even to a standstill. And there's even auto regen, where the car decides what kind of regen it uses according to the speed and the distance to the car in front of you. With the self-steering button, if you press that long, you can turn off lane assist. Power is okay, the 115 kilowatt. It's not overwhelming. When it's wet outside, the front tires tend to spin a bit because it's front wheel drive. So the traction is not the best when it comes to power, but other than that, it's really great. The drive modes are great too. You have 4 different drive modes. You have Eco, Comfort, which the car is always in when you start it, Sport, and then extra setting for snow. The noise level in the car is good up to 130 kilometers an hour, then it gets a bit loud in here. We have adaptive cruise control, and there's a lot of settings in the system where you can select how fast it's reacting to a speed change, the distance of course, and how much power it uses to accelerate. And you can even switch on that it reads the speed signs, what the speed limit is, and adjust it according to that. It keeps the distance very well, and the speed. I find it a bit unsmooth, so when a car is gone and I can accelerate, or when I have to slow down, the car does it a bit so it's a bit too much movement. Other cars can do that better, and I have tried a few settings in the system to change that. Maybe does it get better, but it didn't. The self-steering is not bugging me at all when it's on. It steers a bit much, so it's a bit not smooth steering, but you don't feel it because the steering is not as direct. When you don't touch the steering wheel for a while, you first get a normal warning, and after a while you get a beeping, but it takes really long, so you're not stressed if you don't touch the steering wheel for a second. And you don't have to press it hard, so the car recognizes that you're there. And if you're on the highway, the self-steering is automatically on when you put it into cruise control, but you can always turn it off with one button. And one thing that's interesting, you can drive with the cruise control off, but with self-steering still on. Charging power is not the big advantages of the Kia Niro EV, peaking at around 73 to 78 kilowatt and starting even at low state of charge with 60 kilowatt or so. Especially from 80 to 100%, if you need that more often, takes a lot of time. And I've already noticed that the time that it tells you when you're charging is not always correct, so how long that it takes. The gasometer, so the range display, is not very good. It doesn't adjust to different speeds fast. It takes so long, so when you drive a long distance trip on a highway with 130, it still says 400 kilometers for a long time where you don't have 400 kilometers of range. That's just not very good. There's also a 230 volt plug in the car, and you can have this adapter when you have a certain feature package that you can plug in here in the front in your charge port, and then you have here a outlet where you can power something outside, and this supports up to 3500 watt. But as you could hear, I like the Niro really a lot. It just drives really good, and I like it when it's comfortable, when it's not with a lot of effort, if I don't have to do a lot, so I can have the state that I drive in, and they've done that really well. There's also a like and dislike video that will be coming out because there's one big problem that I have with the Niro. But that's it for me. Thank you much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye.